At some point in America, those who are in power have got to come to the realization and realize that they are in a position of help and not of destruction. We're living in some sad times, and there are too many people who have closed their minds and have turned the other and looking the other way, knowing full well they're playing major roles and major parts in things that they one day are going to have to give an account for. And as I oftentimes say, I know we're living in a time where a lot of people do not believe in God. A lot of people have forsaken God and in his laws. And so their money and their power, while on this time side of life, means everything to them. But they fail to realize that at the end of this thing called life, there is a judgment, and that each and every person who have had breath in their bodies on this time side of life is going to have to stand before God and give an account for the deeds that have been done in this body. We have got to be careful how we treat one another, because there will come a day and where each and every one of us are going to have to be give an account of what we have done in this body, and we're going to be judged accordingly. There's going to be many lost souls. In the day of judgment, there are going to be many people who are going to be judged. And I know there are many people who are not prepared for the judgment. But no matter who you are, no matter how well you have lived this life, no matter how kind you was to one another in this life, you're going to be judged. No matter how cruel you have been in this life, you're going to be judged. Each and every one of us are going to have to stand before the judgment seat of God to give an account for the deeds that have been done in this body. For too long, people have mistreated one another. People have done things that is not pleasing and acceptable in God's sight. And they think that some type of way they have gotten by. They have gotten away. Failing to realize you might get by, but you will never get away. God sees all. God knows all. He hears all. Therefore, he would judge all and every one. We have got to do better. But I really believe time is forspent. I think that the hearts of mankind have become so cold and callous until it is difficult for those who have done wrong so long in their life. I really believe that they will never change. And you see, God have given us the freedom of choice. He created us, gave us a free will, so we can choose to do whatever we want to. But in the end, He will have the last say so because he's going to be the one that judges us. Our world in which we live in is in a sad state. There are so many people who do not want to acknowledge the wrong that is being done in this world in which we live in. So what they do is they see it, they know it, and there are those who are playing a major role in part in it. But what they do is they turn away. They turn their backs on it, thinking that if they just turn their back on a situation that they have nothing to do with it. But God knows the hidden intent of a person's heart. And no matter what we do, he sees all, he knows all, he hears all. Therefore, he's going to judge all and everyone. I really and truly believe that it is always good to pray and ask for God's guidance in situation. But there are those who do not pray because there are those who do not believe. And it's okay too. Because at the end of this thing called life, they would be judged too. They would have to stand before God to give an account for the deeds that have been done in this body. Our world is in trouble. Our world is in serious trouble. And then the only one that can fix this is God himself, because the people in whom he have given the power to do so and to help one another and to live at peace with one another, it seems as though they do not want to do that. So what God is allowing for these things to take place because man have turned their back on God and they're doing their own thing. And now as the world is getting worse and worse, day by day, and people are searching for God, but it seems as though he's nowhere to be found. But he is where he always been. We just have lost touch with him. And if we get back to our prayer life and seeking and searching for him, we would find him once again. But this world has so many distractions until people have lost communication with God, that closeness with them. People have lost it. And a lot of people do not even desire to have it anymore because they're making their money and they think that their money is going to save them from the things that would take place in this earth. There are some things that is getting ready to take place in this earth that a lot of people is not prepared for. There's a lot of people who think that they're prepared, and they're not prepared for the things that is getting ready to take place in this earth. God created this earth. And that's why I really and truly believe with all my heart that he would not allow man to destroy what he created. I really believe he'll come back and get it and claim it back to himself before he allow man to destroy what he created. It is so sad. It is so sad to just sit and see the things that people are doing. People are doing all types of things. And it is so sad. The love for one another has ceased to exist in a lot of places. We're living in selfish times. But in Revelation, the Bible speaks of this. In the last days, man will be lovers of themselves. It is sad. And when God isn't pleased, man ain't safe. And I really and truly believe God is not pleased with this world in which we're living in. Because people are doing their thing and still thinking that God is blessing it. God is not blessing wrong. I don't care if a person feel as though they're being successful in the things that they are doing. See, we got to remember the devil blesses us with things as well. So a lot of people think that they are doing and they are A-okay with God because they have material things and they have money. And there are those who have more than enough. And they would never be able to spend all that they have, even if they live 1,000,000 years upon this earth. So a lot of people think that they are safe and they are good. But we are in trouble in America. And now it is time for us to turn back to God and seek his face and turn from our wicked ways. Then he will hear from heaven and he'll heal our land. Here again, when God isn't pleased, man ain't safe. And right now, I don't think that he's pleased with this world in which he created. And I really and truly believe that there is something that is getting ready to take place upon this earth that we are not prepared to handle. And it would take God in his grace and mercy to bring this world back from the place in which it is spiraling out of control. It would take God. But until man turn their hearts back to God and begin to love one another, prepare. Because I really and truly believe that which is about to take place in this earth, millions of people are getting ready to suffer. And millions of people are not going to be able to survive. But those who love God and who are called according to his purpose, either way it go, God is still with his chosen children. Take heed, because something is getting ready to happen, and only God knows where, how, and when. Pray and seek God in these final hours in which we're living in. And when I say final hours, I'm not meaning in the next 2 or 3 hours, but I'm talking about in the last days, because only God knows how many last days there is that he's given us upon this earth. Seek God, pray, turn from your wicked ways, because we need it in these last days. This is my moment. This has been a chosen moment. Be blessed. Take care.